Welcome back to Building Foundations, the podcast by DGI Waterproofing. I'm excited you're with us today because we're about to dive deep into a problem that turns many basements from potential havens into, well, humid, headaches, high moisture. Is your basement a forgotten, damp dungeon? Maybe. Or is it closer to the functional space you actually envision? We're going to unearth the hidden reasons behind that clammy feeling and transform your understanding from just, damp to dry and dynamic. Our insights today, they stem directly from the extensive experience we've gathered right here at DGI Waterproofing. We're particularly drawing from the knowledge we share in a recent blog post, what causes high humidity in basements and how to fix it. So get ready to reclaim your underground real estate. Okay, let's unpack this muggy mystery. When we talk to homeowners, damp and musty, those are probably the two words we hear most often about basements. But what's the fundamental reason, really, behind all that persistent moisture?
It's a fantastic question. And it really comes down to a basement's unique geographical position. Think about it. Basements are literally built underground, right? Surrounded by soil. And soil naturally holds a significant amount of moisture. Now, combine that with the fact that basements tend to be inherently cooler than the rest of your home.
Mm-hmm.
And you've basically got a prime environment for moisture to just linger and condense. It's especially noticeable during, say, hot or rainy seasons when the outside air is already thick with humidity. That cooler basement surface constantly interacting with damp ground means the air just, it struggles to dry out, makes it feel heavy and clammy. So it's truly a multi-layered problem, isn't it? The ground's inherent moisture plus the basement's natural coolness. It creates this kind of perfect storm for dampness. Okay, let's delve into those specific culprits, the often overlooked things that contribute to this, the ones we consistently see when we're helping homeowners. Starting with what we often find is one of the biggest issues: poor drainage around the foundation. Absolutely. Yeah, what's often overlooked is just how quickly a seemingly harmless puddle can become your basement's biggest enemy. If your gutters are clogged, for example, or maybe your yard just doesn't slope away from the house properly.
Right.
Rainwater doesn't just sit there, it pools directly near your foundation. Over time, that water will relentlessly soak into the ground, and eventually, it finds its way into your basement. It's a surprisingly direct and honestly effective path for moisture to migrate indoors, dramatically raising those humidity levels.
And here's where you, the homeowner, can be your own detective, actually.
Yeah.
One of the simplest checks you can do yourself, like we mentioned on our blog, is to just walk around your house after a good rainstorm, see puddles forming close to the foundation, or maybe your downspouts are dumping water right up against your walls. That's a definite red flag. It's your home basically signaling, hey, my exterior drainage needs some serious attention.
Exactly. And often this problem is compounded by open cracks in basement walls or floors, even small, hair-thin cracks in concrete, which homeowners often just dismiss as superficial.
Yeah, they look like nothing.
Right, but they act like microscopic highways. They're constantly wicking groundwater and damp soil vapor directly into your basement. It's a slow, steady, and incredibly effective way for moisture to seep in. Often unnoticed until, bam, humidity levels are already through the roof. They might look minor, but their impact on indoor air quality is anything but.
So how do you spot these sneaky, silent invaders then?
A good strategy is to grab a flashlight, get down there, and really inspect your basement walls and floor. Look for those tiny hairline cracks, sure, but also any gaps around pipes or wires where they enter the foundation. Or even subtle signs of staining like watermarks. You can even run your fingers along the surface in suspicious areas. Sometimes you'll actually feel a slight dampness that gives away a hidden crack.
Mm-hmm. And another critical piece of the puzzle is the absence of a proper vapor barrier. Think of a vapor barrier as a highly effective invisible rain jacket for your basement walls and floor.
It's typically a layer of plastic or foil, and it's designed to physically block moisture vapor from passing through building materials. Without one, the microscopic moisture that's constantly rising from the soil just floats straight into your indoor air.
Wow.
It's like leaving a door wide open for humidity to just waltz right in.
So if a vapor barrier acts as that essential shield, how do you know if your basement is, exposed? Missing that layer. The good news is there are simple ways to tell if this crucial layer is missing. We cover this on the blog too. If your basement has a concrete floor, but you don't see any plastic sheeting underneath it, maybe picking out from under a finished section or around an unfinished area, or if you just see exposed concrete without any protective covering at all, it's highly likely it's missing this crucial barrier.
We also frequently encounter issues with weak basement ventilation. Basements, just by their design, often have limited windows and doors, right?
Okay.
Which leads to restricted airflow.
When air isn't circulating properly, any moisture that gets in acts like a trapped guest. There's nowhere to go.
It just sits there. Exactly. Steadily saturating the air and creating that heavy, persistent dampness. The air just stagnates, allowing humidity to build up, kind of unchecked.
And how can you check your ventilation? Try placing your hand near any existing vents or, if you have them, open windows. Feel for airflow. If the air feels unusually heavy or smells noticeably musty or just doesn't seem to move at all,
Well, poor ventilation could definitely be a significant contributing factor to your humidity woes.
and let's not overlook excess indoor moisture sources. These are the things, we do in our basements every day that unwittingly add to the problem. Activities like doing laundry,
Oh, yeah.
taking a shower in a basement bathroom if you have one, or even storing wet firewood down there. These can pump significant amounts of steam and moisture into the air. And because basements don't dry out as quickly as, say, rooms above ground,
Right.
that moisture just sticks around longer, consistently contributing to that high humidity. It's actually easy to create your own little indoor swamp without realizing it. This one's often a surprising culprit for homeowners. It's worth taking note of anything that actively adds moisture to the space, like laundry drying indoors on a rack, maybe,
Right.
or any stored wood that hasn't fully dried out. Also, keep an eye out for condensation on your windows or pipes. That's a really clear visual cue that your air is already holding too much moisture.
And finally, just a quick but important mention. Plumbing leaks. A subtly dripping water heater, maybe a leaky pipe under a sink, or even a slow drain. These can contribute a continuous, significant amount of moisture to your basement air. These internal sources can sometimes be just as problematic as external ones, silently adding to the humidity without you noticing right away.
Okay, so it's clear we're talking about more than just, a little discomfort, right? This excess moisture can lead to some truly serious headaches for homeowners. What are the most insidious problems high humidity actually creates, beyond just that musty smell?
You've hit on the core issue there. High humidity isn't just unpleasant. It triggers a whole cascade of real, tangible problems. First and foremost, mold and mildew. These fungi absolutely thrive in damp, dark places.
Oh, perfect environment.
Exactly, leading to that classic basement smell, and, more seriously, triggering allergies and asthma for anyone living in the home. Beyond that, there's potential structural damage. Over time, that constant moisture can weaken wood components, cause metal fixtures to rust, and even contribute to concrete cracking. It directly impacts the home's integrity, potentially compromising its very foundation. We also see increased pest problems. Lots of insects and critters are naturally drawn to damp environments. And finally, your belongings are at significant risk. Books, clothes, furniture, electronics, pretty much anything stored in the basement can fall victim to moisture and mold damage, potentially ruined beyond repair. What's truly fascinating, or maybe alarming, is how interconnected these issues are. One small problem, like a tiny crack in the foundation, can just snowball and lead to a whole host of others if it's ignored. It really creates a domino effect throughout the space.
So clearly, ignoring this isn't really an option if you want to protect your home and, frankly, your health. But the good news is there's plenty we can do. And here at DGI Waterproofing, we've developed an action plan that really works. We've helped countless clients, right here in the GTA, turn their basements from damp, musty spaces into truly comfortable and functional areas.
That's precisely right. The most effective way to conquer high humidity in basements is through comprehensive moisture control strategies. Our extensive experience, backed by the detailed guidance we offer on the blog and elsewhere, shows that implementing these solutions makes a profound difference. A key first step is often installing waterproof basement insulation materials. These materials are incredibly effective because they not only block humid air from entering, but also prevent condensation from forming on cold surfaces.
Oh, okay.
They help regulate temperature and, crucially, stop moisture from passing directly through those concrete walls. This is really a foundational part of creating a truly protected and dry space, often part of a complete waterproofing strategy. Another powerful solution we frequently implement is installing proper exterior drainage systems. Systems like a French drain, for instance. They aren't just fancy names. They're ingenious trench systems designed to intercept groundwater before it can even reach your foundation.
So it stops it right at the source.
Pretty much, yeah. It channels it harmlessly away. Proper landscape grading also plays a vital role here, making sure water flows away from the house. These methods prevent the soil around your foundation from getting oversaturated, which in turn significantly reduces the chance of moisture creeping indoors. We see this make a massive difference. And of course, once you've addressed external water, you absolutely need to seal all basement cracks and gaps. Using professional-grade waterproof sealants to repair any foundation cracks, whether they're in the walls or the floor, is crucial. These sealants create an impenetrable barrier, effectively keeping ground moisture out and cutting off a primary pathway for humidity. For managing the air itself, home dehumidifiers are your absolute best friend, no question. These appliances efficiently pull excess moisture directly from the air, maintaining a balanced, comfortable environment. We often recommend models with built-in pumps or those designed for continuous drainage, as they require minimal maintenance, especially during those peak humid months. Less hassle for you. Improving air circulation is also key to a successful long-term strategy. Adding vents, maybe strategically using fans, or even just opening windows when the outdoor air is dry all encourage fresh air movement.
Gets things moving.
Yeah, it helps to reduce that stagnant, damp air and makes your dehumidifiers much more effective in their relentless fight against moisture and potential mold growth. And finally, a simple yet critical step: addressing any plumbing leaks. It might seem obvious, but regularly checking pipes, water heaters, any other appliances for leaks, even those small insidious drips, and repairing them immediately
Right away.
can prevent a substantial amount of indoor moisture from ever being introduced in the first place. These internal leaks are often silent contributors,
Yeah, if we connect all these pieces to the bigger picture, you really see how many of these solutions work together, kind of in concert, to create a truly dry and healthy basement. It's not usually about just one single fix, is it? It's more of a comprehensive, layered approach, which is exactly what we aim for with all our clients at DGI. Okay, so you've tackled the major issues, you've implemented the core solutions. Now, the big question: how do you keep that basement dry and comfortable for the long haul? Because maintenance, as we always say, is just as important as the initial repair, isn't it?
Precisely. Yeah, long-term victory against basement humidity really comes down to consistent vigilance. It's ongoing. We've outlined 5 simple maintenance steps on our blog that are pretty vital for ensuring your basement stays dry. First, consistently run a dehumidifier. You really want to aim to maintain relative humidity levels somewhere between 30% and 50%. That effectively prevents dampness and mold growth. Second, regularly check for water pooling around your foundation. Again, this means making sure the ground always slopes away from your home and that your gutters consistently direct water at least, say, 5 feet away from the base of your house.
Keep that water moving away.
Keep it moving. Third, make it a habit to seal any new cracks or gaps you might find. You should regularly inspect your walls and floors for any new or existing small openings that could potentially let moisture back in. Stay on top of it. Fourth, ensure consistent fresh airflow. Keep those vents open if you have them. Use a fan periodically or crack a window when it's dry outside to keep air moving and reduce trapped moisture. And fifth, make it maybe a monthly ritual to inspect for signs of moisture. Just a quick look around. Look for any damp spots, sniff for that telltale musty smell, or check for condensation on pipes or windows.
That's excellent, really practical advice. And here's a pro tip we often share with clients, also on the blog. Decluttering your basement isn't just about organization. It actually reduces potential hiding spots for mold. Less stuff means fewer places for it to take hold. And if you're thinking about finishing your basement down the road, be smart about your material choices from the start. Opt for mold-resistant drywall, insulation, and flooring. It really makes a huge difference in future-proofing your space against moisture issues.
And this raises an important question for you, the homeowner listening right now. Are you consistently performing these checks? Regular maintenance truly is the key to preventing major issues from resurfacing. A little vigilance goes a long, long way in protecting your home and your investment.
So we've gone on quite the journey today, haven't we? From understanding that subtle, muggy world beneath your feet to having a clear, actionable plan to tackle high humidity. It's been a truly insightful deep dive into a really common problem. And remember, high humidity isn't just uncomfortable. It's often a precursor to bigger, more costly problems if it's ignored.
Absolutely. And knowledge like this is most valuable when it's understood and crucially applied. By taking these essential steps, you'll not only protect the structural integrity of your home, but also significantly improve the overall air quality for everyone living there. It's really an investment in your home's longevity and your family's well-being.
Couldn't agree more. Remember, your basement doesn't have to be a moisture museum or that dreaded moldy man cave. With a little effort, and the right strategies, maybe some help from professionals like us at DGI, you can transform it into a dry, comfortable space ready for anything. Well, except maybe that pool party we joked about. But seriously, think about this. What space could you reclaim in your home by making your basement a truly dry and functional area? You might be surprised at the possibilities. For more detailed information on everything we discussed today, including visual guides on how to check your own home, be sure to visit the DGI Waterproofing blog. And of course, if you need professional assistance with any of the basement waterproofing solutions we talked about, foundation repairs, drainage, insulation, please don't hesitate to contact us directly at DGI Waterproofing. We're here to help. Join us next time for another deep dive on building foundations, the podcast by DGI Waterproofing.